This conference will now be recorded.
So we're discussing about control statements. Under control statement, we have a selection statement, right? And selection statement and looping statement, transfer statement. Under selection statement, we have a if condition and if else condition, right? And else if we are discussing about condition else if. So we can also call it as else if later. Else if later, right? See, always remember, always if condition will accept only boolean value, right? So with tell me now answer one answer. See, if my condition is false, the statement what we are giving inside if block will execute or not. At what time my if block is going to be executed? My condition is true or my condition is false? Come on, dude. When the if block is going to execute. To execute if block. Exactly, Sweta. Very good. See, always remember if the condition is true, then only if block is execute. Otherwise, it will not execute. Right? So remember, always the condition must be true to execute your condition, your statement. Always the condition must be true. So other than true, it won't be execute. Right? And inside if block, you have to give only either if true or false. So if it is true, then enter into if block. If it is false, then it will not enter into if block. Right? By using if block, we are checking only one condition. So if you have any alternate code, then go for a else block. Right? So when this else block will going to execute, team, when this else block is going to execute, let's consider my if block is executed. Now my
False.
condition is true. My condition is true. My if block executed. Now this time else block will execute or not? Else block execute or not?
No.
Exactly. So always else block is execution is, it's not a mandatory. Else block execution, it always depend upon your if block condition, right? Let's consider like this. Let's consider like this. There is a block if block, right? And remember, I said this is a this flower braces. Flower bracket is not a mandatory, right? Let's consider if I am taking directly here true. I can take directly like this, true. Let me take it inside my method. So if I am taking it true, so let me give you a statement, dummy statement. See, this is if block, right? So if I execute now, this will execute as it is, right? Why? This is a true. No, always. So it's better to take a optional code, right? So if the condition is not satisfied, if it is a false, then it will come to the else block. Then now whatever the code you're mentioning, it is execute as it is inside else block, right? And tell me, always else block is it going to execute? Yes or no? Irrespective of the if condition, always else block is going to execute. If you are having if and else blocks, irrespective of your condition, always else block going to execute. Yes or no?
No.
So exactly. So whenever your else block is false, then only, sorry, if block is false, then only your else block is going to execute. And now tell me, I can maintain else block directly without if block. Yes or no? I can maintain else block without if block. Yes or no?
No.
Exactly.
Without
So
if.
without if block, you will get a compile time error. You cannot maintain else block. Now tell me, I can maintain if block without else block.
Yes.
We can maintain, right? So there is no any compile time error. Directly we can maintain if block without else block. But else block, if you want to mention else block, there should be a if block. Clear? And inside if block you can maintain one more if block. Inside else block you can maintain one more if block. And inside if you can maintain if and else. Inside else you can maintain if and else. Clear? You have to practice like that. And later we discuss about else if later. Right? So don't use this else if later. But part of course content I have covered this one. Don't use this one else if later. So else if later. So how to take the else if later? First of all, you can take else if. Let me create one more class. Okay. See else if. So by using if block, we can check only one condition. So to avoid to check multiple condition, we can take else if, but don't use else if. So coming forward, we will discuss an advanced concept called switch case. So try to use that switch case whenever you have to check the multiple conditions. But for understanding purpose, for knowledge purpose, I'm covering the else if. Now, so if you want to take else if, this is the exact way to take else if, right? So let me take a is equal to 10 and int b equals to 20, or else let me take 10 to make my condition satisfied, right? See, this is a condition. Why I'm getting error thing? We have to write anything inside a method, otherwise you will get error. Right? Now make a condition. See, in Java there is no condition, and Java will not accept only single equals. Always we trying to throw error. What I'm saying here, see, so by the time of variable declaration, I'm using equals, single equals. If I'm for checking condition, I'm trying to use single equals. Now this time, what the program will consider, see, if I'm saying that if a equals to b, what it is saying that what it is considering, I'm trying to store b value in a. We discussed, right, previous. But this time this is not a condition. This time I want to check the condition whether my a value is equals to b value. Now this time Java will allow double equals. Observe it, double equal, and this will return either a b are equals, it will return true. If the a b are not equal, it will return false. Now you can say your statement. Now I am saying that a equals b, right? This is the condition. And now if you want to check one more condition, you can take like this, else if is a keyword in Java. You can check the condition by using else if. Now this time I want to check whether a is greater value to the b. Now I can say here a is not equals b here, and end of, like this you can take n number of else if blocks. That's why we are calling as else if ladder. You can take n number of else ifs. As of now, let me remove this one. Now end of this one you can take else. Clear? This is how we can use else if. And remember, always you can start with if. If you want to check multiple condition, either you can take only if here. Observe it. Anyway, if I want to take one more if, I can take, but this is the better way, better approach. And more than this, we have a one more advanced approach, that is switch case. We are going to discuss this one, switch case. Now this is the concept of else if. And remember, there is no any difference between if and else if. If you want to check multiple conditions, go for else if first. And if you execute this program, and this is the way of execution, line by line, right? So it's coming to the main method, and 6th line, 7th line, and check the condition in if. If the condition is satisfied, enter into the if block. It will execute if block. If my condition is not satisfied, it will not enter into the if block. And again coming to the else if. Again we are checking one more condition, either my a value is greater than b or not. If it is greater than b, coming to the else block, else if block. If it is not greater than, if my condition is not satisfied, then it will, else if block will not going to execute, and now this time it will going to execute else block. Clear? Remember, always one statement will going to be executed based on your condition. One statement going to be executed if the condition is not satisfied. So finally else block is going to execute. Clear, team? Please let me know if you have any doubts. If block, else if block, else block. Good, right? Now let me discuss switch case. One more advanced. So let me first document here. Switch case. Switch is a statement, switch is a keyword to check multiple conditions in Java. So this is one of the advanced technique. Here you can use the different types of different data types. See, observe, this is the switch case, switch keyword, and here you can take your condition inside parenthesis. Now open flower bracket. This is a switch block. Inside switch block, you can check multiple conditions in the way of case and condition. Let's say I can say condition, or else you can say case one, system to understand println. You can take your any case. Let's consider this is your code, case one code. Like this you can maintain n number of cases. Case 1, case 2, case 3, case 4. Clear? And switch is a static keyword in Java. So in Java there is a keyword called switch. So by using this switch, so we can maintain switch block. So inside, and after that we have to give parentheses. Inside parentheses you have to mention a condition. Now so with curly braces you have to give your switch block. Inside switch block you can maintain different cases. So here the advantage is, here we can take as the condition part, we can take data types. That was the condition, that is the advantage of switch case, and try to use as much as possible. So if you want to check multiple conditions, so we can take integer, We can take byte, we can take short, right? We can take long, but here we should not take double and float. Double and float will not support here, and you can take string, and you can take wrapper classes. We'll discuss team what is wrapper classes. We can take wrapper classes also. Clear? And let me give you one example with string class. Take me class switch demo. So first of all, we should have a main method, default execution starting point. Right now, what is the syntax team? Take keyword called switch, switch, switch your curly parenthesis and your block, switch block. See here I have to take the condition. For making my condition, I'm taking here what I said. I can take any data type. As of now, let me take string here. So for example purpose, let me take course. So what we are learning now? Selenium. So this is a declaration of string variable, right? So we have a data type string. So capital S string, variable name, variable value, string variable value we have to declare in within the double quotes. Remember? So now this data type you have to declare here. Switch. As of now, I'm getting any error? No, right? So cases are optional. So why we are going for a switch case? To check multiple conditions, right? Now let me check a case called here. The condition case you have to give again it should be matched with your data type. Then you have to give semicolon. Now case is Selenium. If it is Selenium, then execute this statement. Clear team? See, switch is a keyword. After that, we have to take the condition. The condition type, remember, condition type is always should match with your data type. So what is my data type here? I'm taking now. I'm taking string data type. You can take integer, anything. But the double float will not allow here. So even you can take wrapper classes also, and you can check the multiple conditions. As of now, I have taken only one condition. What is my case here? If my course matches with this one, so execute this program. And let's consider, so one guy coming to the institute, so he paid fee for one course. If the course is this one, then allow this to this room, right? Let me execute the program. Right, so he paid for fee for this one. Now he is coming to this one, and here checking the condition. If he paid for this course and allow to this room. And let me take one more case here. How to document same case condition. If he paid for Java and allow him to enter Java class. Right, so as of now, let me comment out this one, or else. So observe team, observe. Now what is the output this time? What may be the output team? What may be the output this time? Please respond team. See here, here the course is Java. Here the course is Java. I'm checking the condition whether he paid for Selenium. Maybe I'm checking if he paid for Selenium. Now this is a paid one. This is a paid course. Let's consider this is a paid course. This is a paid course. I'm checking the condition. If he paid for Selenium, welcome to the Selenium class. If he paid for Java, welcome to the Java class. Now observe, I'm executing. Clear? Like this, I can check one more condition. Right? Observe team. What is the output now? If I execute this one, what is the output?
Welcome to Java.
Welcome to Java. Last one, right? So if it is second one, welcome to Java and Selenium. Like this. Observe team. I'm executing now. Observe carefully. See here, welcome to Java, because he paid for Java. Now observe team. Observe here. Now this time he paid for which one? Now this time he paid for which one? Which course? Selenium, Java, or Selenium with Java?
Selenium.
Selenium. Observe team. Observe. For understanding purpose, I'm saying this one. See, observe. My case 1 is Selenium. My case 2 is Java. My case 3 is Selenium with Java. He paid for only Selenium. Observe carefully. Observe carefully. And any guesses? Output? We are guessing Selenium, right? Only because he paid for Selenium. We are expecting the case 1 will execute. Yes or no? We are expecting only first case should be executed, right? Now observe the output. So what is the output? See, this is one of the reason in Java, that is we are calling as fall through mechanism. So if your condition is matching, obviously your condition will execute. That is what we know up to now. Yes or no? And whenever your condition is matches, in switch case, inside, whenever your condition is matches, after that all the condition will execute by default. See, anyway, in second condition, my condition is not matching because he paid for only Selenium, but system is allowing to Java, Selenium, and if you have one more course, it will allow that course also. That is one of the default execution of in Java. That is we are calling as switch case inside fall through mechanism. Remember team, the people are going to ask this question in interview. So this we are calling as switch case fall through mechanism. So to avoid this one, to avoid execute all the statement, so we can break this switch case, we can break the condition. So if my condition is matches, just break here, don't execute remaining cases. For that we have to take a keyword called break. What is the use of break keyword team? I am breaking the execution of default fall through mechanism. So if I don't have a break, so what is output? It will execute all the cases by default without checking condition. See, if I execute switch case, so it will check the first condition. If the first condition is matches, it will execute first condition. After that, by default, it will execute all the cases without checking the condition. To avoid that one, we have to use a keyword called break. What we are saying that just break if my condition, first condition is satisfied, just break the switch case. Like this, you can use, we have to use for each and every condition. Clear, team? Observe. Observe the output. What may be the output now? This time it will allow for only selenium. Any confusion? Please tell me, team. Otherwise, I'll repeat it again. Hope you're clear, right? See, switch case is to check multiple conditions. Based on your data type, you have to give the condition. See, I'm checking the condition of a course. If my course matches to the condition allowed in the class, so he is paid for this one, first course. Now I can allow to this one, right? So if it is not paid, I should not allow to the second course or third course. He is eligible for to attend only this course, first course. Now observe, if I don't have a break, so obviously it will execute entire switch case, and it will check the condition, first condition. If my first condition is matches, and from that condition it will execute all the condition by default without checking the condition whether it may be true or false. Clear, team? Irrespective of your condition, so whenever your condition is matches, from there onwards it will execute as it is, right? And let me ask one question here. So let me take it a class switch test. So how to take? First of all, main method, right? CF, and then we have to take switch switch or condition, and then curly braces, right? So your condition, previous condition, let's take this condition. Paid course, right? Here the course inside switch. Now you can take cases. My first case is let's consider Java. System.out.println Java, right? And you can take the condition, one more condition, second condition, third condition, fourth condition. If it is selenium, allow to selenium. So, and if it is Python, allow to the Python. And you can take automation testing. And remember, always your case should not be a duplicate. Your case should not be duplicate. If you are maintaining duplicate cases, you throw your error. Observe, team, I'm taking again Java and Java. See here, your case should not be a duplicate. Otherwise, it will execute. So it will give you compile time error. Clear, team? Now this time I'm having a conditions, 4 conditions. So now tell me, I don't have a break here. So if I take Java here, if he paid Java, so what is the output? Does he allow to all the programs or only Java? Tell me, team.
All the cases.
All the cases, right? Because fall through mechanism in Java we have a fall through mechanism. If you don't mention this one break keyword, it will execute all the statements. Observe, team, It will execute all the statement. It will allow to all the programs default without checking condition because of fall through mechanism. Now tell me, if I take Selenium here, now I don't have a break keyword. Now tell me the output. At least try to guess it.
Selenium, Python, and automation testing.
Exactly. See, whenever your condition is matches, from there onward it will go fall through mechanism. Observe. This is the Selenium. It will match it here, case 2. Now from the case 2, it will execute default by default following all the cases. Now, if you mention a break here, loop will break here. Observe. Observe that. Now this time only Selenium, because I have break this fall through mechanism whenever my condition is matches, and it will won't execute remaining cases. I'm breaking the fall through mechanism by using a keyword called break. Clear? Now, so like this we can maintain different cases. So for after executing, so after every case, try to mention a break point, because to avoid fall through mechanism. Right? Now let me make my all the cases into break like this. And after this we have a one more keyword called default. Default system dot understand println. So if by the condition, by the time of checking the condition, if my any condition is not satisfied, then I will execute this condition. What is that? Default condition. Let's say if he is not paid to anything, let's please pay the fee. Right? Now he paid for, let's say I'm checking the, he's paid for, now he's paid for DevOps. Observe. Now this time which will execute team? Now it is having the course DevOps. I'm checking the condition Java not equals to DevOps. It will won't be execute. Now again second condition, Selenium DevOps not matching, Python DevOps not matching, automation testing DevOps not matching, and it will check by default condition. Now observe the output. Clear team? So default will execute end of your, if your condition is not matches to anything, then the automatically default will execute. Clear? Now observe. Observe. Now guess what is the output? What may be the output team? Observe that. So before that, it will execute default. Now, if you make a Selenium, it will execute one of the condition.
Default condition.
Right? So now this time it will execute default. Please pay the fee. So that one of these course, we are offering only these courses. Please pay one of these courses. So we'll allow to these courses classes. This is the use of switch case. So this is the one of the advanced use case. So you can apply any condition, you can apply any data type, byte, short, int, int, long, float, and double will not allow, string, and wrapper classes. Very important team. Switch case. Real time, we are going to use this switch case. Please practice switch case multiple times by taking multiple conditions. Apply different techniques here and observe the fall through mechanism. Clear? And remember, the default one you can take anywhere. For understanding purpose, I'm taking here default. You can take anywhere. Anywhere in the condition, you can take this default keyword. The default will execute by default if your condition is not matches. The end of your loop, end of your switch case, default will going to be executed. Clear? This is the syntax of switch case. Please let me know if you have any doubts regarding to switch case or else previous conditions, if, else if ladder. Hope you are clear, right, everyone? Can I move to further topic? Just practice a while, so you will get to know. So if you are not getting anything, if you're getting doubts, please come to me, no problem. Clear? And now the next one is looping statements. Looping. Why we are going for looping test statements and what are the looping statement we have in Java? So first of all, you have to ask a question, why we are going for looping statement. So if you want to execute a code repeatedly, if you want to execute a code repeatedly and number of times, so by the time, if you don't know the number of iteration, if you know the number of iteration, or else if you don't know the number of iteration, we'll go for a looping statement to avoid the multiple lines of code. So we are going for a looping statement. So in Java we have a different looping statements. So one of the best and first one is for loop, and then we have a while loop, and then we have a advanced for loop, or we can say for each loop. Okay, so first let me discuss for loop. For is a loop. For loop we have a keyword called for. This is a Java keyword. First of all, let me give you an example here. So by that example we'll discuss how to use this one. Let's say, so I have a use case that just I want to print 1 to 100. So normally in general, if you don't know any loops, if you don't have a Java knowledge, so if you have a basic knowledge, let me create one package here, new package, looping statements. Let me take a class, new class for demo. Okay, let me take a main method, control space, main method. Now my use case is I want to print 1 to 100 generally. So if excuse me, if you don't know the looping statement, we'll go like this. System.out.println. First of all, you'll go like this, 1, after that 2, after that 3, and then 4, right? So we're going to be execute, we're going to be write, we're going to be the script write up to where 100, yes or no? So we have to write 100 lines, yes or no? If you don't have a loop statement, we have to write like this, keep on. So anyway, this is not a big deal, 1 to 100. What if I say just go for 1 to 1000? Try to print 1 to 1000. This is somewhat difficult, right? If I say 1 to 10,000, this is more difficult. So to avoid this one, we have a looping statement. See, anyway, my code is repeating, right? Same code, so only one change is a changing number, same code. So if you have this type of situations, if you have this type of use cases, if you want to write a code repeatedly number of times, even if you don't know the number of the iterations, this is we are calling it iteration. So now I want to iterate the code 100 times. There is a one code that is system.out.println. As of now, I want to iterate this code 100 times, or else 1000 times, or else 10,000 times based on your requirement, right? So we'll check this one. How to print first of all 1 to 100. So without any extra code, how to print? For that, we have a looping statements in Java. For that, we have a keyword called for. For is a keyword from Java to write a for loop. Then parentheses, and this is a block of your for loop. So inside this parentheses, you have to take a simple condition from where you have to start from up to where you have to execute. For that, I have to declare a variable. As of now, I'm declaring integer int. You can take anything. I'm taking a variable name int I. Generally, people will take I only. Int I equals to 1. Nothing but start my loop from 1, and then where how to end, right? Int I less than or equals to 100. Now I want to stop my loop at 100, and then every time iteration, how to iterate? By increase I value 1 plus 1. This one end with semicolon, right? See, first one I am declaring a variable. This is loop starting point. You can say here loop starting point colon loop ending colon loop. Here you can say increment, or you can say decrement. You can increase the loop value, you can decrease the loop value. As of now, first take increment. So how I am taking increment? Every time, every iteration, just increase one value of loop. Inside this, you have to take your executable statement. What I'm trying to iterate here. Now if I say system.out.println, it will give you system.out.println. There is a difference team for system.out.println and system.out.print. Observe, I'm removing ln. There are two methods in here. So there are two methods, system.out.print and println. You can take print or println. As of now, let me take println. Inside this, just print I value. Initially, first by loop starting, I will have I value 1. If I execute this program, it will print first of all I, and after printing I, it is come back to here. I value, I'm saying that just add 1, I plus plus nothing but. So if I say I plus plus nothing but, if I say I plus plus nothing but I plus 1, every time it will increase the I value 1. Now my I value will become 2. Now it's check the condition. This is nothing but the condition or loop ending value. See, what is my loop value now? I value is 2. Check the condition. This contains 2 value. My 2 is less than or equal to 100. Yes, my condition is satisfied, and again going to the inside for loop. Right? If the condition is true, again the entering to the for loop, and it will execute this statement, and again after execute this statement, coming to here, again this I plus plus, now I plus 1, already I value 2, now this time 2 plus 1 is become 3, and again it's coming to the checking the condition whether the I value 3 is less than 100. Yes, true, and coming to the block, it will execute as it is. Like this, it will execute up to 100. Now consider my loop value is 99. I value is 99, I plus 1 100. It will check the condition 100 equal to 100, condition true, and it will enter the if for block. It will execute this code. Now my I value is 100 now. Again I am checking I plus 1, right? So I plus 1, it will become 101, and it will come to the condition, nothing but middle of this for loop. 101 less than or equal to 100? No, right? So 101 is greater than equal to 100 or greater than 100. Now my loop condition is not satisfying. It will simply break the loop and it will execute up to 100 only. Clear, team? Now let me observe the output run as Java application. Clear? So if you want, we can observe this execution in debug mode. So we can observe the I value, we can observe the printing statement of, we can observe the I value, we can observe the printing statement of this one. Which one? I value. Now observing, to observe in debug mode, you have to double click here, nothing but debug point. So you have to set a debug point to observe the execution. See, let me debug in 7th line. So here there is a blue line, right? Just click here, double click. Now you will get a debug pointer here. I want to check I value. To check this one value, here I'm setting a debug point again in 8th line. Again I want to check which value is going to be print. To set that one, again 8th line debug point. To observe this one now, so generally we'll go run as Java application, right? Right click, run as Java application. Now this time right click after setting your debug points. Now this time debug as. Are you observing? One of the option below the run as debug as Java application. Now this time go to debug as Java application. Now you will get debug mode. Just click on S. This is the debug mode. Now observing. Now my cursor is in where? 7th line. Now observe, if you want to execute line by line, if you want to check the values, if you want to check the execution process, now this is the best way to execute in debug mode. This is a very, very useful team. By the time of program execution, if you want to check the variable values, object values, execution order, right, and execution process, the best way to check the all values, best way to execution process is debug mode. And Eclipse will support debug mode. Here, after the run as debug mode, here you will get options like this. Step into, step over. If you click step over, it will execute line by line. Now observe team, I'm clicking step over, or else you can click F6. I'm clicking this one, step over. Now observe, it will go to the second line, next line. Now observe team, are you able to observe here what is my I value? Here my I value is 1. It is saying that my loop is started. What is my loop starting? Loop starting value is I equal to 1. Now my variable value I is 1. Again, let me click step over or F6, step over. Observe, one value printed, nothing but the 8th line executed and program coming to a back to 7th line, and again it is trying to increase my loop value. I value equals to 100. Sorry, one more. Now my I value is, as of now, what is the value it is showing? It is showing 1. Now click on step over. Now observe, what is my I value? My I value changed here, change it to 2 value. It is showing in highlighted in yellow color. Now observe here, what is I contain now? I contain 2. Now if I click on step over, again it will print 2. Observing here, what it contain here under system.println, it is having 2 value. Under this loop condition, it is also having 2 value. Now observe this one. Again I'm clicking step over. Now my loop value increased to 1 plus 1. Now observe here. Here it is having I value 3. Now under system.println it is having 3. Now let me print. Now 3 got printed, and again program come back to the 7th line. Still it is a 3 value. Now if I click step over, change the updating value to 4. Now observe here the value 4, value 4. Step over. Now 4 got printed. Again it's come back to the previous line. Now it is trying to change the value, updating value. Now observe 5. Now it will going to be print, execute 8th line, print 5. Now 5 got printed. Like this it will execute up to 100. Clear, team? Printing the value, updating value, checking the condition. If the condition is true, then entering to the for block and printing the value. Again updating the value, right? So it is keep on execute up to 100. Keep on execute up to 100. By the time of 100, now let's consider my I value is 100. Again it is going to increase the value 101. 101 equals to greater less than equal to 100. False, right? Now it won't be enter into the for block. Simply loop will break. And let me close this debug point like this. Here you have a one debug mode here. Let me right click this debug mode, close the debug mode, right? Observe this program still executing. Let me terminate by clicking this red button. See, for loop, for is a keyword. So initially we have to start the for loop based on your requirement, where have to start, where have to end. This is a loop starting point. Even I can execute portion, right? Let me take, I want now this time I want to take 10 to 20. Now observe here, my loop starting value is 10. Now here I want to take value of 20. Every time increase 1. Now this time observe team, it will going to be execute 10 to 20. My loop starting value is 10. My loop ending value is 20. Every time you have to check the condition, I value is less than the end value or not. By this one, second one. Here middle one nothing but it is a loop ending value and loop executing condition. And the third one is loop increment or decrement. Loop starting value initialize a variable. That variable, second one condition, whether it may be a whether the value is less than the end value or not every time, and increment. Here observe team. Now earlier I have print 1 to 100, right? Now I can take like this also. Now this time I want to reverse 100 to 1. Now I'm starting loop value at 100, right? And here this time I have to check like this the condition every time I value greater than equals to 100, 1, because my loop ending value is 1. Now every time I don't want to increase the value, every time I want to decrease the value, I minus. Now this time I value every time minus 1. Observe the output. What may be the output? My loop starting from 100, right? My loop is starting from 100 and executed up to 1. Clear, team? And now tell me any guesses. Second loop, for loop, my loop starting value is 1. My loop ending value is 100. I value always greater than or equals to 100. Now I plus, now this time plus 2, or else I can take a variable here, int j equals to 2. This time I want to take sorry, j plus plus. Let me check if it is working or not. Loop starting, okay, this one, right? This will execute, and then this one. Okay team, don't get confused. 100 1 minus minus, this one clear, right team? 1 to 100, 100 to 1. And always remember, I is before the semicolon, you have to take loop starting value. After the second semicolon, this is loop condition. This is not only loop condition, loop ending value, where how to end the loop. And again, the last one is whether it may be loop increment or loop decrement. Clear? Hope everyone clear, right? For loop. So tomorrow we'll discuss while loop and remaining concepts. So try to practice if statement, if else, right? Else if block and switch case, the most one important switch case, and then for loop. Okay team, tomorrow we'll discuss the remaining concept, and please let me know if you have any doubts, or else ping me and try to practice. After practicing, try to send me a mail. Thank you team.